Vincenzo! You think you can get away? You think you can get away from me, brother, by going into the coin bullion market and buy silver and gold as my house has been reduced to rubble by the Waco style FBI burnt down? I'm gonna get a hold of you and rip the fucking shit out of you, Vincenzo! I lost everything because of you, and now you're buying bullion coins and
Good evening. This is an emergency forgotten alert, Ashley. Russell XDC will give you a quick XDC update real quick. I forgot. It slipped my mind. I think that's what that just said. XDC. Let's go in there. See, I love the audience. Where are we at? Come on, XDC. You're always hiding. DNT. Dent. Where the fuck are you at? I know you're on here. There you are. XDC. Oh yeah, you see that? It met the target beautifully. So out of this, if you were to break up, I took it out, put it back on, took it out. It would have been like that to the point of the breakout, right? That's why I don't like taking stuff off. But it almost hit it beautifully. And now the last time we seen this, we were in a rising wedge that we know. From way back there, see that? We were in a huge rising wedge this whole time, and now it's broken the rising wedge, Ashley. So last time we looked at it, we had a Vincenzo watch up there a few days ago to see how it would interact, if it could break up and come back up, but it did not. And we got a lot of noise. I must have been doing this when I was driving. But we've broken out of that now. If you take a look at that as I ramble on here while I clean this chart up to make it look a little more presentable, right? But you can see we broke out of this rising wedge at 17 cents. And if we zoom on in here to take a look at a few things, when you break out of a rising wedge, you look at the price action, and we've had some big candlesticks come down in the daily. The volumes picked up a little bit, but not. You can see the volumes picked up a little bit, but not a lot. As we zoom out now to a far out time frame, Ashley, because like we always say, you want to zoom out to a far out time frame to know where the price is coming from, because if you don't know how the price got to where it's at, how can you forecast or understand with any ability or probability based way to forecast where it's going to go? And you can see we were in this big consolidation, huge consolidation, which was a bullish pennant. But it was almost just the equal. It could have broke down 50-50 shot, which way it was going to break up or down, the way this one was set up. But you can see as we pumped into it, we hit upper resistance once, twice, lower support, and a whole conglomerate once, then upper resistance 3, lower support, and a conglomerate, and then we broke out on the fourth time up. But as we know, we broke out up into this in a rising wedge. You can see in green as that orange is your technical target out of the breakout, and it almost met it. You can see we were in a big rising wedge from the very beginning, trading along in this, and I diagnosed this out and detected and overted and subverted the criminal gangster cartel. Yes, the Ohio State University, brother, on those big wicks right there. Anytime you see big wicks, that means there's heavy sell pressure up there. And the bears are taking over up there, and that's often a sign that the price is eventually going to break down, as it is too with a rising wedge is a bearish pattern, and it breaks down almost 7 out of 10 times. You'll break down to the bottom of the target, which is the bottom of the wedge at what do we got there? 0.062 cents is the bottom of the wedge, so that would be your technical target out of the breakout. And they do, like I just said, they break down about 7 out of 10 times out of about a 70% chance to break down and meet that target. And then as we look at where we're going now, usually what happens here after you broke this decisively in price action, and if you zoom in to the 4-hour time frame, 3-hour time frame, you broke it with some nice volume. Let's delete that nonsense off of there. You broke it with very nice volume. And like I always tell you, look into 2 and 3 hour time frames and you break a pattern. Usually you come to the green, which is the 200-day moving average. You shot right through the 50 and the 100 in blue and red respectively. And now what you're probably going to do, you might try to bounce a little bit into the heart of the 50 and the 200 and the orange, which is the 25, and the yellow, which is the 10-day moving average, and then you'll probably get knocked down, and then your next target would be right here, is usually how this plays out. which your next target would be, come on, I just want to delete that. Your next target would be that yellow line right here, which we're going to make, we'll make green because I like green, which is the top of that old bear bull pennant that we were in, that we broke out of in that rising wedge, right? And that's your next logical area for you to break down to, would be your old major upper resistance, which is now should act as new lower support. And then if you can bounce and hold, you could pop and try to make a run. Or what I think is going to happen is you dance, and you can still make some nice runs, 15-20% pumps as you hit support and then pump and then hit the moving average and come down. I think you're going to ride it, and then you're eventually going to break it and trade back in to this descending or this pennant pattern that you were in right here. And what you can do is after you do this, you trade your way down along it and then back in it, and then you start trading within it again for a few days to weeks. And then usually what would happen is you would break down out of this now, and what you would call this, as I always talk about, this right here would be one massive, like XRP sniper he gets fleece heisted and shisted on this all the time. He doesn't buy any of it down here, and then he gets panicky and FOMOs in way up here because it broke out of a pattern and he thinks he knows what he's doing. So he buys in like a jabroni buy, and jabroni buys on those wicks, thinking it's going way up there. When I mean way up there, he thinks it's going way up there, right? No, it's called a classic fake out. It gives you a nice industry exclusive measuring tool. It gives you a nice 60% breakout up, and then you crash back down, and then you end up, and the reason you say 56%, it's a huge move up. Yeah, out of the pattern. Fuck yeah, it is. Meets a technical target, but people think it's going up there like XRP sniper, and in a few months, it ends up back below where it started the pump at. That's why it's a fake out, right? Ashley, that's what I think you're doing in XDC. I think you're going to trade down and back into that descending triangle, where now your new lower support is at 11 cents, and your new even lower support, but your first lower support's 11 cents, which I think is going to turn into upper resistance when you break back into this triangle, and then 0.080 on an uptrending or ascending fashion will be your lower support until you break out of that, which the ending of that pattern is just above the orange zone, which should be up here. These got moved down. This can't be in the negative. Just get the shit house is about right there. And that brings you right back into the thick of our last line of defense, or get my shit together box before the shit house, right? And actually, that's what you got going in there. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love. Peace and love.